Alright everybody, it's BrickBuilder here, and today we're going to be discussing XP parties, the pluses on ranks, and in addition to that we're also going to be discussing XP on Hypixel as a whole. So the reason why this whole topic is coming up today out of all days, just out of the blue, is because I got the white plus today, which is level 75 for those who don't know. And I got it completely legit, no XP parties or whatnot. Not that there's anything wrong with doing XP parties, which you'll hear about my opinions towards those later. So, yeah. Alright, but anyway, let's dive right into it. So first of all, I wanted to start off by saying that I am a fan of the different pluses representing your different color. I personally like that feature of, MVP plus. I think it's one of the main reasons that honestly I bought, which is, this might sound bad, but it's one of the main reasons I bought the rank, because I kind of wanted, to be able to show off my level, which definitely isn't the highest, but I mean, it could be way worse. I think it's very cool to kind of have your level kind of prominently displayed next to your name with the plus, and I think it also kind of shows off some of your skills, except, I mean, I kind of die all the time anyway, but, still, the concept's still there. So, yeah, I'm level 75 right now, and obviously that will increase. It's never going to decrease as long as, I don't get it to decrease, which should never happen. I don't think it's even possible. But, anyway, so I'm white plus, and next is like blue, etc. Boom. But the max is 250, and you get this nice black one, which is super awesome. But I don't know if I'll ever get there. That's a little bit crazy. But for starters, I just wanted to quickly talk about the plus and the ranks, because the thing is, if you're not MVP plus, you can't really use the pluses. For instance, I mean, like YouTube rank can't do it. YouTuber rank can't do it. All the different staff ranks can't do it. Helpers can't do it. And I feel like that's not how it should be. I think you should get access to that stuff, even if you are one of those ranks. So I don't really know exactly how they'd want to do it, but for like YouTuber, they can maybe make the YT, like the YT inside of the, actual like tag, just be the color. Because YT plus would kind of look weird, so in my personal opinion. But I don't know, that's just what I think regarding that. And give me that. So yeah, I definitely think it'd be very cool if they implement something like that for all the YouTuber ranks out there. And I'm sure there's a couple YouTubers who really don't care about it. But they're for the ones who primarily play Hypixel and, have like a decent level, they probably want that to be shown off, The same reason that a lot of the people, who change it do. Now also, some people don't really care, they just make it whatever their favorite color is, like a lot of people keep it red too. Which, is totally fine, you don't have to change it, it's all completely based on if you want to or not, I totally understand the people who don't change it, they keep like the default red or whatever, because that's what they like. Which I think that's pretty cool, because either way, it doesn't really make a difference. You do it because you want to, not because you have to. Because the level really doesn't give you many in-game advantages. I mean, it does give you, like, every single time you level up some rewards. But the rewards are nothing groundbreaking that if you didn't have them, you'd be able to play. Plus, you still get the rewards regardless of if you are a rank or not. So, it's not based off of that. So everybody has access to getting these rewards. It's just that the only way to show your level is, through the use of the plus. So yeah, overall, I just like the whole plus system. I think that other ranks should get advantage to being able to show that off too if they want. Secondly, now we're going to discuss XP parties. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what an XP party is, basically you get a ton of people, and what you do is you all open up gifts and send them to each other, because then you generate with generosity, or radiate with generosity, I don't know. But anyway, what that does is basically it'll give any player around you in your party or so a bag of experience, which you can open up. So basically what you do is you get a giant amount of them, usually 100. You usually get 100 people to do it. And boom, every single game you get a ton of bags of XP. Now, some people could argue that this is considered a form of pay to win because you need to pay to get the gifts. But in theory, again, the whole getting your level up is a completely optional concept that you don't really even need to do to be, decent at Hypixel, to be good at Hypixel, to be the best on Hypixel. You don't need it. So it's all really relative. I myself support XP parties just because I think it's a cool concept, and if people do want to spend their money on that, they should be able to. Because XP parties, they do really help a lot with your XP growth, just because of how fast you can get levels that way. And I guess there, it could be argued that it's a little bit OP, But it's a concept that if Hypixel was really against, they would disable like the whole ability to do that. But I don't really think they care too much, and I'm down for that because I don't really think it makes much of a difference either. The people who are against it, they just don't have to do it, you know, they don't have to take part in it. They could say, well, I got all my levels legit and you didn't, sort of thing. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to get them legit, does it really affect you? You know, does that like make your legitimate earning of all your XP any less significant? Not really, in theory. So yeah. Oh gosh, there we go. I would say, you know, it's all based on what you can look at it however you want. You could look at it saying, well, I got all my levels legit, or you could just look at it and say, whatever, you know, who cares at this point, sort of thing. It's like you do it for fun. That's why I do it. I didn't start it out as a, you know, gotta get like the highest rank. I did always really want the white plus though. That was sort of like, that was at the level that I was like, all right, I don't really care past this, and that's sort of now how I am now. It's like whatever. But before that, I was doing something which a lot of people who don't play the XP parties, they do this. It's called questing. Now that's what we're gonna start talking about questing. So questing is where you complete the daily achievements for your games that you play. So for instance, I just play Sky Clash and Skywars at the moment. So I would quest those games usually every single day. I would get on here, you know, hop on the server and quest them. So that's kind of how I personally got my levels. And yes, it was a decently long process, but at the same time, it wasn't super long, just because of, you know, the amount of quests you can complete every day and all. So it didn't take me as long as it definitely would have if I didn't quest at all and I was just playing for fun casually every single day. But it was my goal to beat the challenges like that. I did work towards every single day beating the challenges. So that was sort of like one of my goals. In addition to doing that, I would also do the daily voting as well as the daily box or present or whatever they call it. I would do that just because that does give you a slight amount of XP as well. So it's like, why not do it? But that's how I personally got my XP. And I think that XP parties are a pretty cool concept. I haven't really ever participated in one. Maybe in the future. I don't know. We'll see if I'm feeling it or not when it happens. But they definitely are an interesting concept. And I think whoever created them, you are a pretty smart person for realizing the exploit that could be made there. Although, not all exploits are bad. You know, if Hypixel doesn't think it's a bad exploit, then they don't have to remove it. If they haven't removed it, it's clear that they either support it, or they just don't know that much about their server, which I would doubt because Hypixel is very, you know, good at knowing what the players are doing and all. So they definitely know something's up, you know. But I'm down with it. I think that works. I also like the color progression. Not that this makes a huge difference, but I just like the color choices that they chose for the pluses. I feel like they're very fitting for what like the OP players would really like want as their final colors and stuff. You know, like having the black as the final, that is so cool. I think the black looks amazing. So yeah, I definitely think it's cool if that's like the final color, just because it's a color that, you know, everybody kind of would want, I would say. I think that's like a pretty desirable color to end off with, so I'm kind of glad they chose like that color. They didn't just pick a random color that like nobody cares about, you know? Like they didn't just end it off with like, you know, some random orange or something. I mean, not that that'd be terrible, but it's like, come on, we want a color that actually people like really want and desire for. So yeah, just because that makes more people want to do the whole questing and all that thing, which is in turn pretty awesome. Because it's like you could sort of compete against people, well, those who want to compete. Not everybody is down for that, but for those who want to, you know, try to have the highest level, they totally can do that, you know? And there's tons of cool stuff you can do out of it. You don't have to. Boom, and we got the victory. So I personally really support the whole XP system they have here. And I do like the rewards you get too. But yeah, I think overall XP, very interesting concept that I really support that Hypixel added. I think it's pretty much one of the coolest non-influential things they've added. And the reason why I'm going to call it a non-influential thing is because it's not necessary. It's influential in the way that if you want to make it influential, you can. But it's your choice. At the end of the day, you choose whether or not you're going to participate in the whole XP level thingy-majig. You don't have to do that. Like, that's a voluntary, basically a voluntary thing that you decide to compete in, I guess you could say. Because I guess compete would be, like, the proper term. But you don't have to do it, which is, in my opinion, pretty nice, because they made us do it. I think a lot less people would actually really like it. So, yeah. and it's definitely a cool concept, and it's very easy with it to kind of tell who's like a really active Hypixel player too. You can tell, you're like, oh, they have a white plus, they're pretty good. They've got above a white plus, they're really good, you know, sort of thing. I don't know, although obviously your plus doesn't, you know, single-handedly show off your skill. It definitely does help, you know, for like newer players who don't really know who you are to be able to realize it. So yeah, but there we go. And I know like you get some pretty cool stuff at 100. I mean, we're not at 100 yet, but maybe at some point we will be. I don't know, we'll have to see if we end up, I'm assuming we'll get there at some point. But I don't know how long it'll be or when it'll be and stuff like that. But there we go. Oh, come on, yeah. So yeah, I overall support the system a ton. And I think that for those of you guys who are MVP and aren't currently doing this, or because you only change it if you're MVP, VIP Plus can't change their color, which I sort of wish they could change it for like the first like half or something. But whatever. All right. If you guys did enjoy today's little video talking about XP, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys in another video. Let me know what other topics you want me to discuss. Bye.